Well, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It's good to have you. I'm back from Daytona and I'm showing you the number of Formula One cars that I have that have not been reviewed yet. However, the one that we're going to start with for this review is the one on the top, this Alpine model. This is a 143 scale Spark model, the Alpine A521, that which raced in Bahrain in 2021 by none other than Estabon Ocon. Now, as typical with Spark models, this is a resin model, and it's manufactured to just incredible standards. Absolutely beautiful. Comes on this gray base, includes an acrylic jewel cover. And one thing I like about Formula One is they have really cool boxes. They're team-themed, very, very sharp, front and back. And flip them over, and you get the standard Spark licensing that you'd expect from all Spark models. Now, there's one thing I'm going to ask you guys to help me out with, particularly those of you that know a whole lot more about Formula One than I do. And that has to do with this decal sheet that came attached to the bottom of this. I looked at the car, and it doesn't look like it's really missing anything. But nevertheless, it has these, I guess you could call it map-free decals, which appear to be the ones that are on the nose there, where you see it right there. I just can't figure out what I've got the second decal sheet for. One thing that really annoys me about Formula One is because of, I guess, licensing and the fact that tobacco and, vaping and alcohol are restricted. Sometimes you get decal sheets, sometimes you don't. Applying them is a pain in the butt, and I really have no idea what this is for, but if anybody knows, please let me know. I would love to get your thoughts. Now, as you can see with these other models, they are all wrapped. Guys, I do not unwrap them until I review them. I haven't even taken the little strips on the side of this one yet, which I'm going to do right now. Anyhow, after taking the cover off, this is what you got. A really spectacular model from Spark. And guys, I mean, this one is just really, really cool. The Alpine A521 is a 2021 Formula One car designed by Alpine, the first to be fielded under the new Alpine name. The car was driven by returning F1 champion Fernando Alonso. No, this is not his car. And Estabon Ocon, that is the number 31 car, the one you're looking at right here. As far as technical specifications, the engine is a Mechachrome built and assembled Renault E-Tech 20B 1.6-liter direct injection turbocharged V6. The power output of approximately 960 horsepower or 710 kilowatts for those of you that go by that. Transmission was Renault 8-speed plus 1 reverse semi-automatic sequential. Now, in 2021, the cars competed in 21 races. They had 1 win, that was Ocon, and 2 podium finishes. The team would score 155 points and finish 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Now, this livery that we're going to take a real cool look at is the blue is just stunning. I understand it's French blue with a French flag pattern towards the rear, which I assume is what we're looking at there. Anyhow, the finish on this car really is, I mean, guys, it's just really badass. It's really hard to see. I really can't focus in enough to show you how it's almost got this blue metal flake sparkle finish, which looks really good. Carbon fiber work is nicely done on it. The front wing just, I mean, Spark does such good work. I mean, the stuff looks amazing. Now, this front wing to me reminds me a lot of the same one that you have with the Red Bulls, in that the nose is mounted with 2 small mounts to a front wing suspended underneath it. You can see it has the foam underneath it, protected from breakage. Fortunately, this car was delivered, sealed and everything else without any damage, which was really nice because that's not always the case with F1. These cars are built so fragilely and so exacting that I understand how they get damaged in shipping no matter what you do. Now, guys, I have a question again, another question for you guys. This little thing that is underneath the nose that runs all the way up to the front wings, you can see that piece of carbon fiber there. It is, it's not the floor. It's not a barge board. I don't know what it is. If anybody knows, they can tell me. I'd certainly appreciate it. The suspension is very, very nicely done. Carbon fiber, all very sharp. Wheels are perfect. One thing I really like that you can see on the back, and I'm going to go to the back wheels, you have actually the name of the wheel manufacturer on the inside. It's rare that you see that in 143 scale. That's something you expect in 118 scale that you don't always get with a lower scale like 143. The barge boards are very nicely done. I mean, it's got all sorts of aerodynamic, I don't know. F1 never makes any sense to me. Really cool looking. Well, I guess kind of cool. They're kind of ugly in a way. I mean, the way you have the front end that goes and then the nose just drops precipitously. Looks kind of weird, right where the pitot tube is. Got a couple really cool aerials. And you've got that map-free decal, I pointed out earlier that you can see right there. And for some reason, I got a second decal sheet, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they thought it wasn't applied when the car was packaged. I don't know. As far as the cabin, as I spin it around, you can see it looks really, really good. The steering wheel looks absolutely great. I don't care what anybody says. I like halos. I think they are just really neat. Estabon Ocon's helmet is really nicely done. And I've got to admit, everybody that makes these cars, whether it be Barago, Spark, or Mini Champs, they seem to do a really good job on the helmets. And one thing that I do like about F1 that's different from sports cars is the fact you do have a driver figure in it most of the time, and that driver figure usually looks pretty good. This one is no exception. I mean, they did a really, really nice job on it. You can see from this aerial view a lot of the carbon fiber details from the mirrors, the floorboard, and the barge boards. And they did a really, really clean job. Very cool, very sharp. The blue finish is just exceptional. And I kind of like the Alpine, towards the rear. I think that looks really, really neat. Now, when you get to the rear of the car, oh my God. I mean, just look at the complexity of this. I mean, there's a lot to see here. The menacing exhaust I love. You've got these support struts, and I don't know who assembles the rear end of this car, but guys, that is so complex. I mean, there are so many pieces that make this thing up. And then there's this weird thing that I'm going to ask, again, those of you that know more about I do than this sport, is what this little thing is here in front of the rear wing. It's like a separate piece, and it's just, I don't know what it is. I've got no idea. Alpine, very nicely done. I think the end caps on it just look really, really sharp. The French color, theme you've got all along the rear wing. I mean, just a really, really cool job that the folks at Spark did. I'm just amazed at how these things turn out. Well, folks, that wraps it up. This has been a long one. I regress. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.